The smell of raw meat and desperation. It's the scent that haunts the deepest reaches of the Canadian woods. It's a hunger that no amount of food, no amount of civilization can ever truly satisfy. We are talking about the Wendigo. Not merely a beast of myth, but a terrifying cultural barometer, a nightmare woven from the threads of famine, taboo, and the ultimate breaking point of the human spirit. For those who wander too far into the boreal shadows, the stories suggest that some hungers are not biological. They are existential. To understand the Wendigo, you have to understand the extreme conditions that birthed its mythology. We are looking at the edge of survival. The tales are deeply rooted in the Algonquin and Ojibwe oral traditions, myths that served as potent warnings. These aren't bedtime stories. They are survival manuals disguised as horror. The core narrative always circles back to taboo acts, specifically cannibalism, brought on by unimaginable starvation. When the snow falls deep, when the game vanishes, and the desperate choices become the only currency for life, the barrier between humanity and the primal predator thins to nothing. The Wendigo becomes the embodiment of that transgression. It is the spiritual consequence of violating the deepest law of community and self-preservation. It represents the moment the community cannibalizes itself to survive, and the curse, the Wendigo, is the inescapable consequence that follows. It is the soul tainted by the ultimate act of desperation. But what exactly is this thing that stalks the frozen pines? Physically, descriptions vary wildly, which only adds to the terror. Some accounts paint a picture of a gaunt, emaciated humanoid, stretched beyond natural proportions, its skin taut over bones that seem too sharp, too visible. It is often described as possessing an unnatural, almost skeletal gauntness, a visible testament to unending hunger. Its eyes, some claim, glow with an unnatural, feverish light, the light of unending craving. It is often associated with extreme cold, a spectral presence that seems to suck the warmth and the vitality right out of the air around it. More profoundly, the Wendigo isn't just a monster. It's a state of being. Possession is the most terrifying aspect. When a person is afflicted, the curse takes hold, transforming them. They become consumed by a ravenous appetite, an insatiable need that transcends mere sustenance. They begin to see the humanity in others not as kin, but as potential nourishment. The physical symptoms, according to the lore, are often accompanied by psychological decay. A paranoia, a mania, an inability to feel satiety, no matter how much they consume. It is the curse of the forever hungry spirit. This brings us to the modern encounters. As the world has changed, and as humanity has retreated further into technology and the safety of enclosed spaces, the tales haven't faded. They've adapted. People who claim to have encountered it, hikers lost in remote areas, survivalists pushed to their limits, report phenomena that defy easy explanation. They speak of unnatural blizzards that seem to herd them, of eerie, repetitive sounds carried on the wind that sound disturbingly like whispered pleas for more. These accounts, when filtered through the lens of trauma and isolation, become potent folklore, adding layers of psychological weight to the original cultural warnings. Why does the story persist, even now, in an age where we can track every movement with satellites and map every last stretch of wilderness? Because the Wendigo taps into something fundamentally human, something that exists beneath our veneer of civilization. It is the fear of ourselves. It is the fear of what we become when the rules break down. It forces us to confront the darkest corner of our own capacity for cruelty, the moment when survival overrides morality. The legend acts as a cultural failsafe, a terrifying reminder that civilization is a delicate construct, easily undone by scarcity. It speaks to the primal fear that when resources dwindle, the monster doesn't come from the woods. It comes from within the group. The Wendigo is the externalization of that internal rot. It is the nightmare fuel for the human condition, reminding us that the greatest danger often wears the skin of our closest companion. So the next time you find yourself staring into the endless, suffocating blackness of the deep woods, listen carefully. Don't just listen for the snap of a twig or the howl of a distant animal. Listen for the sound that speaks only to need, to absence, to the gnawing void that whispers promises of fullness. Because if the hunger is strong enough, if the desperation becomes absolute, the curse might just find you. If you hear a whisper calling your name from the empty woods tonight, Will you answer? Or will you turn back before the hunger claims your voice? Sleep with that sound in your mind.